and I'm calling from the Fatu Network, and we are live on the radio. Is this Tutu Alicante?
This is correct. This is Tutu Alicante.
Very good. I was not sure about the pronunciation of your last name. Thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure. And I'm going to say you need to become familiar with pronouncing Equatorial Guinean names because your former president is now my resident. So
I know, yes, I know. So that's why when we got this information about you being a human rights activist, from Equatorial Guinea, we thought it's very, very important for us to talk to you. So we understand that Jammeh is in your country right now. Do you know how the welcome was like when he got in?
Well, what is true, is that, as you might already know, Fatu, Equatorial Guinea is one of the most opaque countries. There is no free press in the country. So Mr. Jammeh arrived, and nobody in my country know. In fact, he was not flown. I found out today that he was not even flown through the capital. He is right now in the city where the president is from, the president of Equatorial Guinea. The city is Mongomo.
Yes.
Yes. President Obiang is from Mongomo. Mr. Jammeh was flown to a private airport in that city and directly taken to the palace where he's staying now in Mongomo. So people in the capital city didn't know, and still most people do not know. The people in the opposition know, and a few people with access to the internet know because of what has come out from the press outside the country, not inside.
Oh, wow. So he is in a palace. Do you know if that's his house or that's from the government of Guinea?
So the palace that he's staying in right now is the president's palace in Mongomo. And I have already asked colleagues to send me a photographic image of that palace. And what I'm being told, is that there is a wall, there is a fence around the palace, which is over 15 kilometers long.
Oh, wow.
Right?
It's a very high one.
Yeah, so they cannot get picture of the palace itself, but they will send me a picture of the entrance on the wall, basically. So you cannot, I think Mr. Jammeh and Mr. Obiang know that, this is going to be a great hiding place, right? Because it's very difficult. He's not in the capital city, and it's very difficult to access Mongomo where he's staying.
How far is Mongomo from the capital city? Is it too far?
So the capital city is actually on an island. And Mongomo is on the continental part of Equatorial Guinea. So you will still have to take a plane from the capital, Malabo, which is on an island, to the continental side, Bata, and then from there take a car, which is about 8 to 10 hours drive on the road. To Mongomo. Now, if you have a private plane, obviously, then you can fly into the private airport.
Do you know if those cars are in Equatorial Guinea right now, or you have no information about that? Because some are saying they must have been dropped in Guinea-Conakry.
Yeah, so I've asked my people, I've asked my colleagues inside the country to investigate that, because I just found out today I was reading something that actually said that he stole, 11 million, some amount of money and some
He took a lot of money, yes, I saw that.
Yeah, so we are now in the process of finding out whether any previous flights came into Mongomo again, into the airport in Mongomo, with private cars for this man. So we will find out. Give us a couple of days.
Okay, and we also see that on the papers. Actually, I read this morning that opposition guys are saying that he is the waste of Africa, and that they don't want him there. Was there kind of like a protest, or these are just interviews that are coming out in the newspapers?
Yeah. So there hasn't been a formal process, right? And Equatorial Guinea is a country that will not tolerate a formal process of protest. However, the opposition has issued a press statement and has made it clear that they do not want Jammeh in Equatorial Guinea. As you can understand, Equatorial Guinea or no African country should become the cemetery of these dictators, right? They need to stay in their countries and face justice. Or they need to go wherever they need to end up. It needs to be a place where there is rule of law, and we can still hold them accountable for the crimes that he has committed in the Gambia.
But, well, if Equatorial Guinea is a country where the press is not free and the president would do stuff without telling people, do you think the voices of the opposition would be heard? Do you think the president or the government would listen to them?
No, they won't. They won't until there is international pressure. And this is what I have told my colleagues from Gambia, right? They say, look, right now we need to be organizing a big protest in front of the Embassy of Equatorial Guinea in Washington, D.C., so that the press knows what's going on and so that we can put pressure on this government. We need to be doing the same thing in the European embassies. Wherever there is a sizable population of Gambian citizens in exile, we need to be demonstrating in front of the Embassy of Equatorial Guinea to put that type of international pressure on them.
I think I heard that the fact that he is in Equatorial Guinea, that means he'll be out of ICC's radar. Because you are not a signatory. Yes.
That is correct. And the other thing people tell me, is that, look, he realizes that Obiang is about to turn power over to his son. His son is the vice president right now. And Mr. Jammeh realizes that, that government is going to stay controlled by the same family for a while, which is one of the reasons why he picked Equatorial Guinea, right? No ICC interference. The government is going to stay in the family for a while. There is so much oil and gas in that country that the West does not care about democracy and human rights, so it's a perfect hiding place, right? However, if we Africans begin to make noise about this situation, we make it more difficult for Yahya Jammeh to go there or to go to Swaziland or Eritrea or Zimbabwe, any of these rogue nations in Africa.
So the Obiang's son, is that the one who's caused in France? He's the vice president?
Yes, indeed. That is him, Mr.
Wow.
Theodore.
Theodore, yes, but this one is, your own son is the vice president and he's about to take over from him. Oh, wow. He's about to hand power over to him. That's interesting. Well, so it seems that Jammeh is going to be hiding over there until we know when. But the way you're describing that government, it looks like they would not listen to nobody. And I doubt the international community can do much. But like you said, it would be good to put pressure on them by going on Twitter and also doing protests, like you said, at the embassies or the ones in America and also in Europe. So maybe that could help.
Well, I think so. If we don't do anything, certainly the international community will not do anything, right? But Gambia is a perfect example of how international advocacy helps, right?
Yes.
I remember, 2 years ago, talking to Jeff Smith, Amadou Jammeh,
Yes.
Jagan Gray Johnson, and others, and
Hello?